Evening, what an absolutely phenomenal response. And I was right, I went with my gut feeling. I wore this t-shirt in remembrance to Brendan Rodgers and the last time he was at Celtic, and it does say, we are not here to take part, we are here to take over. The Green Brigade and the boys are letting off some pyro at the end of the game, and they will get slaughtered for that all over the media, but who cares? It is all about the performance by this Celtic team today. Dies Maida walks off with the ball. Green Brigade, North Curves, and the boys, Ultras, having a little fun after the game. Celtic players look happy. Greg Taylor's not really smiling, is he? And Brendan Rodgers, who was booked for that blatant dive. We need to stamp it out in the game. I mean, what was Brendan thinking? A blatant dive at the side of the pitch. And what was he expecting to get? A penalty? He's not Rangers. But he was booked. Yes, Brendan Rodgers was booked. And ultimately, it was lambs to the slaughter. Yes, it was not bouncing sheep merrily back up the road to Aberdeen, watching the Northern Lights as they dawn the sky tonight. No, the Dons will be going up the road as slaughtered lambs. Yes, slaughtered in the home that is Hampden Park. Rangers may rent it, Celtic own it. The score tonight was Celtic 6, Aberdeen 0. Aberdeen 0, and I've got to say, Callum McGregor talking, the objective is to get to the final, and they got to the final. I hope you can hear that okay.
In terms of a semi-final performance, then, all we can ask for is clean sheet, as many goals as we can, and get ourselves into the final, which we've done.
Perfect.
The one that got away last season, how confident are you that you can go
all the way? It's ours.
Yeah, well, obviously we'll see what happens tomorrow and see which opponent we face in the final, and then at the same time you've got to reset, and once the game comes, just put everything into it and try and win the game, so that's what we'll be come December.
Perfect.
Well, Tyson, you are the player of the match. Carol, if you could please do the honours.
Player of the match, gets a little trophy, a little man of the match, and he also gets the ball. He gets the match ball, and I've got to say fair play to the Aberdeens who hung about to the end, because I've been at Hampden myself many times when we've played Aberdeen, and generally the Aberdeen fans disappear in numbers with about 10 minutes to go, but there was a big bank of them decided to stay and see their team after that demolition, absolute demolitions. I would just yeah, it came through fine. Perfect. Anyway, the only one team that's disappointed tonight, and it's not going to be Celtic. Let's jump into the comments section. We'll wait on lots of other people jumping on the live because they were still watching the telly. DJ says Waza. Told you says Gary. Martin says, one word, scintillating. And Kieran Douglas says, I did say 5-0, I meant 6-0, obviously. I never seen that big scoreline coming. I mean, we knew that Celtic ultimately had that kind of game in them. We saw it at the beginning of the season. We have saw Celtic play like that at the beginning of the season. But today, to be fair, let's go on the current form that Celtic have been in the last month or so. They've never reached that height at all. They've went to Hampden. It is, like I said, it's a stadium that Brendan Rodgers ultimately thinks he owns. Rangers at the beginning of the season, they went and rented Hampden. Celtic, we just turn up and we own it. Paul Baird says, Aberdeen now know how good we are. Hail, hail. Grabboy7 says, hail, hail. What a display of pure quality. Pure quality. Paradise Found says, I did say the sheep. Did they have any shots on goal? I don't know, actually. Let me just double check. We'll go on to shots. No, the Celtic site doesn't give it, and I was going through the Celtic site. Let me just go on to this. We'll get the stats up. I've usually done that. 6-0. What an absolute gubbin. Aberdeen had 3 shots, 1 on target. Celtic only had the 12 shots. They had 8 on target. And, for the ones that they had on target, 6 went in the back of the net. The fact they had 8 on target and 6 went in. I did say before this, my worry before this game was that Celtic were taking shots and they weren't hitting the target. They weren't hitting the back of the net. Today, they just absolutely got everything right. They had 3 shots in total throughout the game. One of them was on target. Possession-wise, Celtic had 53% of possession. I thought it would have been more than that. And it's not got all the stats that you usually get on a game. It was 11 that's rubbish to the stats. Anyway, who cares? It's done and dusted. Celtic have won and they're in the final. Bye bye Rangers. It was great hearing the Celtic fans singing about the fact that the new club might be a dead club. Kieran says that game showed why Alex Baye is a starter and whether Taylor stays or he goes. Same with Hatate, probably one of the best first-time passers of the ball. Kieran, I said it before the game, I thought that Alex Baye is performing better, and I've told you the reasons that I think Alex Baye should be starting. And Greg Taylor at the end of the game, you just knew that that's the face of a player. That I will say that's the face of a player that knows that his time at the club is coming to an end, and he's just wondering how many more times that he'll get to see this kind of stuff out. And I'll say Greg Taylor, for the fact that he's either not signed the contract or he's refusing the contract or whatever the situation is, if he manages to sign a contract between now and the December, fair enough, he does it. But he looks like a player that's probably regretting that decision and the fact that he will be leaving Celtic in the next transfer window, allegedly. But we'll wait and see. But I think he will be ultimately. Bells Hill Boys says that was our title challengers. That was our title challenger. Shilpel says absolutely brilliant performance. That was not just a brilliant performance. That was the performance of the season from Celtic. Celtic turned up and dominated. Completely dominated. I'm going to see who's coming on. Charlie Mulgrew says he expected Celtic to win the game, but it never expected that scoreline, said Charlie Mulgrew. I didn't expect it to be 6, says Charlie Mulgrew. One-sided. Aberdeen came with a lot of confidence, Charlie Mulgrew saying, and he's never known it to be so one-sided. Anyway, brilliant performance, says Chilpel. Big Des says, I'm on the drink along with Kaiser and Dano the new. That's us. We're going to run riot. Jesus God. F and Hale says Celts for life. Jim F says Baz Hill. Wow, what a performance. It was an absolutely amazing performance. Martin Too Good says let's hope the Dons don't get disheartened. I think they won't, because you see the manager after the game, the Aberdeen manager, and he will say, look, this was just a one-off game, this will not affect our season. That's what he'll be saying. He'll be going into the Aberdeen dressing room and say, look, Celtic turned up the night and were absolutely phenomenal. They never done this to us 2 weeks ago. We had an off day. Everything that they hit was absolutely perfect. Cameron Carter-Vickers climbing up, they'll say it maybe should have been a foul. They'll say that should have been disallowed. They'll cry that. The Scottish media will cry it. As for the rest of the goals, there was none of them absolutely questionable whatsoever. I think every single one, the fact that Dyson gets a hat-trick, unbelievable. Need to keep them ahead of the Zombies from Zombieland. Yes, I think we will. Haha, Hill Baz, what a result. From Brilliant said Celt 1988. There's no stopping us, says Michael. I don't think there is. The sheep were sheared. They weren't just sheep sheared, it was lambs to the slaughter. Great football, but Bernardo is a waste of space. Hopeless, told you. 3.5 sub. Kevin, I've never really watched Bernardo that much, to be honest. I was too busy trying to get stuff sorted out. And there's it showing the Dyson one again. I mean, Dyson, when he gets the ball there, gets the keeper on his arse. Kyogo takes one touch, gets it, boom, into the back of the net. I mean, the running for Dyson is just phenomenal when he's one-on-one like this. I mean, it was, he done so well. And it's Kyogo running for being on his arse to getting up and then realising that he can get up and get a chance to score. He's got the brilliant, absolute brilliant. You know, the fans going wild behind him. Fantastic stuff. Stephen Johnson says, "Hey, well, Baz. Great show." I'm just seeing. Raging 20. John Boy had £20 on 5-0 and at 16-1. He was wanting that to stay in because you would have got a cracking return for that. If he scored that third goal before half time, Paradise would never have been a draw. We got bit slapped back into touch. Yeah, we did that. Dyson was amazing, but still think Kuhn is our best creator. Baz, how can you not love Maida? I do love him. I think he's a fantastic player. The pace that Dyson Maida's got is just phenomenal. It is just phenomenal. And he's one player that, I tell you one thing, I don't think it's going too good for Leipzig tonight. And Leipzig will see that scoreline and look across to Glasgow tonight, because I'm sure they're playing just now. RB Leipzig got beat by Dortmund. RB Leipzig got beat by Dortmund. Dortmund had 56% possession. RB Leipzig had 44% possession, which is something else. I mean, Dortmund absolutely annihilated Celtic. Can Celtic at Celtic Park beat RB Leipzig? Well, Leipzig are going to come to Celtic Park, seen the forum that Celtic are in ultimately, and they're going to sit and go, holy shit, they haven't played like that all season. Are we getting Celtic at the worst time possible? They'll be thinking that. Are we getting them at the worst time possible? What that's done to the league in Germany, Leipzig have dropped into second place, and Dortmund have jumped up to 5th position after that performance. So it just shows you, considering Dortmund absolutely annihilated Celtic, and we've just done to Aberdeen what Dortmund did to us in the Champions League. Anyway, Clement Presser just went up. Get it an hour and then go read the comments. That'll be nasty stuff because of our score. Put money on it. Ray, this was Aberdeen Dortmund. Yeah, it was that. Chilpel says he never expected nil. I said 2-0, shows you how much I know. Chilpel, I thought it'd be 2-0 as well. I thought that Aberdeen, when you look at the performance, Celtic just turned up. It was phenomenal. Let's not say anything else, but I mean, Celtic to a man. I mean, Kuhn gets the ball here, and then Dyson gets that one in. I mean, Kuhn was just brilliant. I mean, you could see Dyson shouting for the ball way out before. Just so good. I mean, the football was unreal. I mean, Brendan Rodgers, for the fact that he wasn't that happy when he went and kicked the ball, he's wanting perfection. He wants this Celtic team to play absolute perfect football. Here is Brendan Rodgers. We're going to try and get him on.
Yeah, very good. Obviously, you win a semi-final with that scoreline and that performance, and of course you can be really happy.
The guys want to know where your studs were, first and foremost.
Proud one. Tom Ford and them. They don't make Tom Ford with studs on it, really find it. To be fair, I was raging because we'd given the ball away. We were a bit slow on it, and it was too. But it was deserved. Would it be fair to say that you were as fired up for this game as you have?
Oh! And what is he getting booked for?
You're not often showing emotion like that. No, I have my moments, probably like every manager, but it was just the game. I wanted us to play that fraction quicker, and even though we're comfortable in the game at 3-0, it's still the performance that moves. Wow, he's beat us to
You got quite
It's good. That's the old circus you do, isn't it? Again and get up. But no, listen, they've deserved card, and yeah.
Charlie mentioned that. He said at half time, I think he's frustrated. I think you're frustrated. You were 3-0 up at that point, but still, you could see that you wanted more from him. You spoke about that in the game at Celtic Park. You wanted more commitment. What were you seeing at that point?
Not just speed in the ball. It was having 3-4 touches when you only need 2. Just touch it and pass the ball and keep the tempo of the game. Obviously, we're well conditioned in terms of, we knew we wanted to make Aberdeen run. They played a game in midweek, probably for the first time maybe this season. So,
how key did you think that was in terms of them midweek, everything they had to put into that game? You guys making 6 changes there today in terms of the speed, the intensity. How key did you think that was going to be in this game?
Well, I think that what I'd rather go the other way. I think it's a big testament to our players.
Yep.
And their professionalism and how they recover and how they rest, the demands that they have every single week. You know, they're playing midweek all the time in big games. And what we tried to do is manage the squad through to perform and get to today, and obviously Tuesday as fresh as we possibly can. So, listen, Aberdeen have had a brilliant season. It's been really, really good. We were very, very good today. And but they'll continue to work well, I'm sure.
For you tonight, Brendan, I know it was important, and you were hurting after that game at Celtic Park. You know, you said that you want to make sure that you lay down a marker. How important was that today, and not necessarily just to win, but the manner of it?
Yeah, no, as the players before, you know, there's 4 teams left and have a chance to win the competition, and we are one of them. But you got to get there. You got to get there, and I thought that, you know, it's up to us to decide the game, and thought the
did
players
that.
did that. So now the players were brilliant today, especially that second half. I think we were more aggressive in the second half. I felt a little bit passive in our pressing. There was too many, you know, we have a trigger at when to go, but we were just slow into it, and then that made our passing slow. The second half we were so much better, good numbers on the inside of the pitch, could connect the game quickly, and then we always looked like we could score goals.
Brendan, what was your message to your back four today? Because I felt that from Aberdeen from the start of the season, their sort of front four, the Duke, Succulent, etc., have been excellent. And also at Parkhead, they always had that constant threat. Was there a message to your back four to be more switched on? You know, obviously they look to have those sort of balls in between centre backs, full backs, balls over the top.
Yeah, I think we've seen that with Aberdeen. I think they're happy. If there's no pressure on the ball in front of that, then the striker, the wingers, they're running behind and they can penetrate really, really well. So it's initially ahead of the back four. Get your press right to stop those through balls for 1, and 2 is why we put Trusty in the team, because he's super quick and the striker makes good runs. For me, for Aberdeen.
So there you go.
And then he could then control those. But the pressure was in front of the ball to stop the sorcery.
There you go. That's
That's
why you put Trusty in before Scales, because he's faster than Scales. So there you go, there's the answer.
I love Liam Scales. I personally, I see him a bit myself in Scales, and I love him, so I'm glad to see him drop some of them. Obviously, Trusty's pace is anything else that Trust brings that Scales doesn't?
No, I think Scalesy's been brilliant since he's gone in the team.
I love Charlie Mulgrew.
You know, he's a really valued player for me. He's played probably as much as anyone for me in my time here. But just as each game, I felt that, you know, Austin Meadows through balls, he's super quick. And if you're going to play a high line, and especially with the runs and the penetration Aberdeen make, that pace is important. So, but as Scales, he's done nothing wrong. He's very valued, and you just sometimes have to make decisions.
That first goal at Parkhead,
just all about pace.
Was that really key in your mind? That great ball through from the ground, but it became a foot race there.
Well, it was certainly one of the. I think that again, that we got slack in our pressing, and you watch that goal back. We're 2-0 up. We're confident in the game, but we
pace of Skills, let him down.
We had 3 moments to press the game, and we didn't do it. And normally we focus a lot on doubling up in the game. And the boy McGrath makes a brilliant pass and the guy gets in off the shoulder. So normally my teams can play high because they have speed in that central area.
I was just going to say to you, but how much of a level
Interesting.
of communication do you need, or do you feel when you bring players in that are your players, they're part of, you know, what you're trying to do, to make sure that you're giving them an opportunity as much as anything else?
No, I don't feel anything. I'm as proud as the players that have been here when I arrived. You know, like Greg Taylor, he was another one. You know,
I was not given a chance to speak about it.
Greg came in, I felt that we needed to clean up the game a little bit, just a wee bit bobbly and a bit, you know, we need to be cleaner, and he comes in and he's been brilliant for me as well. So no, it's not about whether I signed the player or they've been here before, it's about the team performance, and I thought they performed absolutely brilliant today.
And as usual, they keep coming thick and fast. Tuesday, Leipzig. Again, confidence was, first of all, is everyone okay fitness-wise? Coming off?
Yeah, hopefully. We'll get in tomorrow and recover.
Brendan Rodgers says everybody is fine fitness-wise. He also said that Trusty is faster than Scales. I don't know if you picked that up in the interview. He says that Trusty, the only reason that Trusty got a game ahead of Scales today is because Scales is slower than Austin Trusty, and he knew that Aberdeen would try and hit on the break. And after the first goal that Aberdeen got, which Scales couldn't keep pace with the Aberdeen striker, that's why Austin Trusty got the start today. Interesting that Brendan Rodgers says that. He says Scales is a great player. Big Charlie Mulgrew asked the question. He says a bit of himself and Liam Scales. And why did you drop Scales? I absolutely love it when ex-players come out, and this is the type of question that Celtic media should be asking. Just get to the point and ask the real deep questions. Why did you drop Liam Scales? Asked Charlie Mulgrew, and he got the answer from Brendan Rodgers. He felt that on the day, Austin Trusty was faster. Austin Trusty was faster when it comes to the defender, and my teams need to be fast because of the balls that Aberdeen played in the first game, and that is it. Absolutely fantastic by Brendan. Absolutely fantastic interview by Brendan. Brilliant. I'm sure you're all going to watch it later on, and when it is on Twitter and all sorts. Our diamond in the rough is now called Diamond Dyson. Our Rio is now called Rio Grande, and I would sign that boy Alex Baye to a contract immediately. Our boys were today. All the critics get stuffed. Yep, to everyone who said to me Alex Baye should not be starting, I tell you one thing. He is a player and a half, and it was right that he got taken off for Greg Taylor to make sure that his fitness level was okay. And Brendan Rodgers says he thinks everyone's fitness level is okay. There's no injuries after the game today. Absolutely brilliant performance. Hopefully we'll have a beautiful Sunday tomorrow watching a Hun meltdown. I hope so too. Brendan following his arse was class, says Leo Miles. It was absolutely hilarious. They're now showing the Maida goal on the 85th minute. I've got to say, somebody was slating Paulo Bernardo. Paulo Bernardo sets this goal up. Paulo Bernardo's in the middle of the field. He does a back heel. Paulo Bernardo does a back heel to Alistair Johnston. Right? He does a back heel to Alistair Johnston, and then Dyson Maida comes in at the back post. So whoever was slating off Paulo, we need to watch the game again, saying that he wasn't on it because Paulo Bernardo set up the final goal with the little back heel to Alistair Johnston on the edge of the box. So there you go. Live Charles, he's no raging. Is that Brendan looks like a dwarf next to Charlie? He does, doesn't he? And Brendan must be tiny because I've stood next to Charlie McGrew before. I've had my picture taken, and there's a scarf up there signed by Charlie Mulgrew, Celtic Ultras scarf back in the day. Great power tracking, the ball winning by the wingers too. Yep, hail Baz, and the chat says Stuart, Hoopy the Hounds, and great goals tonight. Defence sorted. The boys are grafter. Kuhn's top class. Yes, he is. Thumbs up, Des. Did you notice? Jim has his totally wee man. I'm just reading some more of the comments. But anyway, let's see what the media are saying. Let's jump over to the land of the Twitterati and see what is going on with that. A sensational 6 for Celts as we progress to the Premier Sport Cup final next month with a 6-0 win. And Celtic obviously put and try to get as much media as possible with this, and we'll see what some of the Celtic fans are saying online. That's why we're the best in the country is the first one. Complete dominance. Maida might be the greatest player on earth. How we feeling after that, Celtic fans? Must be dreaming of a treble, if we're being honest. I think so. They can't be far off it. There's a cracker one with Dyson Maida as a sniper. Phenomenal. Trusty looking solid tonight after I'm getting slated by a lot of people before the game. Reassuring to know that we have 3 quality centre backs. Maida is a menace. Aberdeen are a good team, but we blew them away tonight. Absolutely brilliant. And they called the RSPCA. There's been 11 sheep slaughtered in Glasgow tonight. The finest in the country by a mile is the next one. What a run, what a run. I remember they celebrating keeping the ball from the line. Celtic need to keep this up instantly with Aberdeen, or they will suffer. They won't get off lightly with a draw. What are you talking about, mate? We all remember what happened the last time that we won 6-0 before a Champions League game. Someone's always got to bring us down to earth, eh? Someone's always got to bring us down to earth. I could do shites, different game. I think the game this week will take care of itself. I hope it doesn't burst Aberdeen's bubble and they keep it in the league. Enjoying the challenge and the pressure that they're putting on us. Our standards, putting our standards up as a team. Aberdeen, get back in your box is the next one. These are our title rivals. Just put the ribbons back on our trophies now, please, and give them to us. We've not even got into the Scottish Cup yet. That did start last weekend, but I've got to say, what an absolutely phenomenal match tonight. That was a close one tonight, Baz. It says Celts for life. Lol. Yeah, it was close. It was close to being 7. And Trusty we trust. Make America great again, says Big Des. I'm back and forth between my phone and chores, by the way, not patching anyone, says Carly. What a performance, outstanding. Obviously, everyone's raving about Maida and Kuhn, but our best player, in my opinion, is Kuhn. He's absolutely phenomenal. We won't have Dyson long for now. I'm really glad that Kuhn and Kyogo scored. That's me, I'm done and dusted. I'm only doing a quick one tonight. Dyson hat-trick, absolutely delighted. We'll be keeping an eye out on the scores tomorrow morning. Make sure you give the video a thumbs up. There's been over 1,000 people on the live so far, 266 currently on, with only 99 thumbs up. I, for one, am away to get a beer. And on that note, have an absolutely fantastic evening, Celtic fans all around.